Who's here? Who's here? Who's here? Hello, everyone. How we doing? Welcome back to another Rabona TV watch-along, a Rabona TV stream back on YouTube. It's been a while. Diego is here. Curious Benji is here. We got Hugo, the skeleton. Hello, everyone. Say hi if you're here. Let me see your names in the chat. Let me see ya. Also, if you could be so kind, a like goes a long way. A like goes a long way if you like what you've seen so far, which is just a title screen and then me. So maybe a dislike. I don't know. Maybe dislike is sounding a little bit more tempting. We got David. We got Murray. We got Jorge. Opaque Nihilist. Wow, what a name. Maluch. We got a lot of people. Thank you guys for stopping by. Love the kit. Thank you. Yes, this is a beauty that was sent to me by Stade Brestois, a.k.a. Brest, who were in the Champions League last season. Very, very kind of them. This is their 75th anniversary kit, which is an absolute stunner. I mean, look, we got to go. I love that I can just remove this mic. We got to go back to no sponsors on the kits, you know? This old school Adidas look to it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me. If you were here yesterday, thank you for coming back. Zach, a bit shy. Nah, we know you're not shy. Zach, come on, man. Thank you for joining me, though, everybody. Yesterday was, it wasn't the most exciting match. Arsenal just did what they had to do to take care of Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid, with the substitutions in the second half, just got pretty bad. They were playing balls up to Sorloth to flick on to Saliba. He was flicking on to Gabriel. He was flicking it back to Zubamendi. You know, all the wrong characters, basically. So that's what we were sort of working with yesterday. But today, let's see if this is the chosen one, as it was last week. It certainly has a lot of hype surrounding it. Now, like I said in the recap last week, if we get half the match that we got last week, how many times can I say last week? We'll be in good hands. We'll be happy people. We'll be very, very happy people. Excuse me while I clean my glasses. We got South Africa in the chat. Yo, what's up, man? Kvaratskhelia goal soon. Yeah, how good has Kvaratskhelia been this season? My God, even last season, great player to watch. Fantastic player to watch. But this season, it just seems like another level. Like, there are few wingers that I can think of that are so direct, so quick on the ball, but also just, he exudes so much power. He is so powerful, whether it's slipping past people, shouldering them off the ball, and then the way he strikes the ball. He is one of my favorite sort of, when it comes to how someone hits the ball with power, accuracy, and swerve. I don't know that there's many that do it better than Kvara right now. Absolutely fantastic player. Fantastic player. Murray says he's been great for a while. Yeah, I agree. Who you got going through to the final? I have Bayern going through, personally. I'll stick with Bayern. It's looking like the Bayern supporters have really shown up. What is it? Their Sud curve, or whatever the German word is for that. Their south stand is absolutely bouncing right now. They have banners up saying stuff like, we're going to Budapest, we're sending you to St. Helens or something like that. I don't know. It's like a, yeah, oh my God. I don't know if you guys have seen some of the images and videos that Bayern are uploading. It looks crazy in there. Vincent Kompany has been saying this whole week, since the end of the last match between these two, that they need it to be all in red, a complete red out, if you will, in the stadium. They need everyone to be as able-bodied as possible. I think he even said, if you are feeling sick and you can't give 100%, please give your ticket to someone else who can to help the team through. That's how much stock he's putting in the supporters in helping them get this over the line and turning around that 1-goal deficit currently. Crazy. It's very, very crazy. Another South African. Yes. Let's go. Let's go. Murray says, I'm guessing PSG this time. It would be interesting to see. For sure. For sure. I mean, either team, look, I think all of us neutrals are going to be happy with either team going through. They've both been absolutely entertaining more than anyone else. Michael Elise arriving in a toque and face cover. Just can barely see out of that thing. Decent video on Mbappe today. Just a mess at that club currently. Some real high school stuff. Unk talk about Tchouaméni and Valverde fighting and training. Yeah, you know what's funny, Joy? Is that story came out pretty much right after I decided to hit publish. Well, a few hours after, I should say. A few hours after I published that video on sort of the Mbappe side of things. Because I did a video on how Vinicius has caused issues. So now I figured, let's be fair. Let's do one on how Mbappe is causing issues and sort of isolating himself. And now we're seeing, that morning I was able to get a clip over to Alex, who edited that video, of me talking about Rudiger and the stories coming out about him and how he apparently slapped Alvaro Carreras. Now you're seeing Valverde, a captain of Real Madrid, and Tchouaméni, who for me looks incredibly chill, like a very incredibly chill individual. Maybe I got that wrong. Him and Valverde, a captain, getting into an altercation that almost got physical. It was very intense in the dressing room at Valdebebas. It's just really bad vibes. But they are bad vibes FC right now. It is all turning a little bit Marseille at Real Madrid at the moment, which is crazy. Very, very crazy. And it brings up the question of who can sort of stop this, Who can sort of stop this from happening at Real Madrid at this time? New season of Keeping Up with the Madridistas, says Zach. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So let's take a quick look, just in case anyone hasn't seen. Let's take a quick look at these lineups. And for Bayern, I believe it is 100% the same.
Smith is alongside me, and I usually say at this point,
maybe Limer. No, did Limer start? No, Davey started last time, and then Limer came on in the second half, I believe.
We had a bit of everything, didn't we?
Because I remember when Limer came on, his tracking wasn't. He got drawn out for, I think it was PSG's fourth goal or something like that, that allowed Hakimi to get in behind, square it all the way across the Kvaratskhelia.
How they play together,
I think that's the main change.
Just let's hope we get another classic, eh?
There's FOTMOB audio.
There's every chance, because I don't think these two teams and the setup of their managers, Vincent Kompany and
what are you talking about?
Luis Enrique, means they don't know how to play any
you guys
other
can hear
way.
That?
See a slight difference tonight, because Bayern Munich have got the white socks on because they're wearing their
what is going on here?
Kit that they'll be wearing throughout the whole of next season for the first time tonight. And
okay, that's
part
weird.
Of that
now? What the? I literally have no idea how that was happening. It's a completely different window. Well, hey, there you go, guys. Let's see if this gets taken down. Wow. Whoopsie daisy. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Hope you enjoyed another voice talking there. Looking at things here now, as I was saying, I'm sure you guys couldn't hear what I was saying because all you could hear was the commentator, but I believe that the only change is that Davies is not starting, Limer is now starting. As far as PSG goes, the main changes are you don't have Zaire Emery in the midfield anymore, as he is now playing at right back because Hakimi was injured in that last game. So you have Fabian Ruiz back in the midfield. So you have that Champions League winning midfield back together out there of Neves, Vitinha, and Fabian Ruiz. Zaire Emery playing at right back up against Luis Diaz. That's going to be interesting. Very, very, yeah, like top 10 Spidey said, very, very strong 11s from both of them. But no Hakimi up against Luis Diaz is something that I will definitely be keeping an eye on, just with how good Lucho, not Luis Diaz, has been this season. Because he's definitely been a step up from previous seasons, hasn't he? From his speed to how he's able to beat players on the dribble, everything. He's just been a very scary individual for any defender. So Zaire Emery coming up against him, who has played right back before, of course, he's going to be in tough up against Luis Diaz. That is for sure. But other than that, I'm looking forward to this one, man. This is one of those marquee matchups that you look forward to all week, especially after that first taste from the first leg. Rob says a Kane brace today. Now you guys don't have the audio, correct? Yeah, okay, good. Good. Interested to see if Nuno Mendes will last the full 90. Oh, here comes Vincent Kompany looking drippy with that shiny jacket. Of course, he had to spend the previous match way up top in the stadium, in the stands, up from the Luis Enrique position. Sitting way up there with his NFL headphones on, NFL coach headphones on. Rob, I'm good. I'm really looking forward to this one. Really, really looking forward to this one. This is what I've been looking forward to since the first leg ended. So I am excited about this. Oh, and Bayern are wearing their kits for next season, aren't they? I got to say, I'm not really a fan of that when teams do that, when they start to wear their kits for next season at the end of the season. I don't know why. For me, maybe it's a superstitious thing. It just feels like bad juju. I'm not a fan of it. I'd rather see them just stick it out with that current kit. But, I mean, they look nice at least. At least they look like a nice kit, so who cares, right? PSG in the black and, what is that, gold Jordan jerseys. Any João Neves slander will result in a timeout. Do not disrespect, says Zach. Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to slander João Neves anyway. Jon Snow, as they call him. Steve wants to come in. Okay, we'll let him in. One sec. Lancine Keita says, y'all think Bayern's making the final? PSG all the way? Hey, we'll see. We'll see, man. It's, for me, it feels like advantage Bayern. Just when I was sort of doing the preview for this and making my prediction for it, playing that second leg at home at the Allianz Arena for a Bayern side that, those Bayern jerseys are pretty sick, I got to say. For a Bayern side that has been scoring against everyone, and you probably could believe in them to keep it tight away to PSG. It just felt like they wouldn't throw this opportunity away playing at home in the second leg. So that was my thinking. We'll see. We'll see, man. It could go either way. Pronounce my name correctly, fan for life. Hey, appreciate you, man. Kane already dropping deep into the midfield. Oops, forgot to start the clock. There we go. Only a few seconds behind. It's okay. It's okay. I'm a fan who gets swept up in the narratives. Look, if there was a coach that you could trust with being able to mastermind a win away to Bayern, it would be Luis Enrique. He's one of the ones that you would sort of trust to do so. So, Mr. Keita, you're not crazy to believe in PSG, especially when they already have a 1-goal advantage, right? It's sort of the onus is on Bayern to go out there and get this result now. And that can leave some deficiencies at the back, we'll call them, as we saw in the first leg. Yeah, Benji, I do have to shake it off. I'll get there. I'll get there. I'm new to this clock thing. Oof. Bad pass from Neuer there. Out of reach for Leimer. So it looks like Stanisic is playing on the left and Leimer on the right. Both can play on either side, really, which is a huge advantage for Company. Oh, I thought that was the first foul by Nuno Mendes on Olise. Not given. You know what's crazy is seeing propaganda live before your eyes. Oh, here's a great ball through. Kvaratskhelia in behind. Will he drive to goal? Cuts it across. Goal, PSG, just like that. Ousmane Dembele. Ousmane Dembele. Wow, 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 wow. Oh my God. So you know those deficiencies in defense that I was talking about? There they are. There they are. That took absolutely no time. 2 minutes and about 20 seconds or so. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, man. Kvaratskhelia, what a guy. What a guy. Look at that. Perfect cutback on the left of Ousmane Dembele, who can hit it with either foot. Doesn't matter. Yeah, Murray, he's been great. He's been great since... he's been kind of saving himself for the Champions League, it seems like, at least. Great finish right at Manuel Neuer, but just swerving away. That's difficult for Neuer to save. Curious Benji, thank you for that super chat. Very much appreciated, man. Always appreciated. We are in for quite the game, I am sure. And I don't know if you guys watched the Champions League recap that I did last week, but I even made note of something that I said in the preview, that surely Vincent Kompany will reel in the defense a little bit, and those big exposed areas won't be as much of a problem against a team like PSG, because if there was a manager who could exploit that, it's Luis Enrique. And so far, we're only 4 minutes in, so maybe they can turn it around. But so far, Bayern still haven't addressed that issue. Still an issue for them. Adrian Live, UCL watch along takes me back to 17-18. Yeah. Yes, sir. I was doing those watch alongs long ago, hey? And then I stopped for a bit. People still do. They're still very popular. I stopped just because it was taking up too much of my time. But I definitely enjoy them. I get to interact with you guys much more. Upa jogging, or is that as fast as he can run? He's pretty quick, Upa Meccano. Usually he's pretty quick, at least. The way he was closing down Dembele in the last... he had a couple of good recovery runs against Dembele in the last leg. Oh, ball down the line for Leimer up against Pacho. Schlong Kong. What a name, by the way. Congrats on that name. I think the game is over now. I don't see Bayern coming back from an early goal like that, says Schlong Kong. Look, Bayern is a team that can score tons of goals, can't they? Granted, one of their comebacks recently was against a not-so-great Bundesliga side. PSG is very different. But, you can't count them out just yet. as we saw in the last game, especially, if we learned anything from that last match, it is get used to seeing goals. Plenty of goals. And I don't think that Luis Enrique will be thinking that this match is over yet either. He has too much respect for his opponents. The south stand, where all the sort of ultras are, a little bit quiet. Discouraged so soon. Will you ever do FIFA career mode series again? I don't foresee that happening. It was fun. I had fun doing those. I actually, one of those videos came up randomly. I think it was on like my personal YouTube account, which of course was subscribed to Rabona TV. Of course, you needed all the subscribers you could get back in the day. And one of those videos came up and I clicked on it. Not bad. Not bad. Not the most boring career mode I've ever watched. Big trip from Nuno Mendes on Michael Olise. Oh, so what I was saying about propaganda live before your eyes. After the first leg, I saw videos or reels on Instagram saying that Nuno Mendes pocketed Michael Olise. Now, my parents are Portuguese. I love Nuno Mendes. I'm a big fan of his. He did not pocket Michael Olise in that last match at all. I think the actual stats were 8 duels between the two. Olise won 5 of them. So there was 3 occasions where Nuno Mendes got the better of Michael Olise, got the ball off of him. That was crazy. Crazy. No, it wasn't Fabrizio Romano, surprisingly. It was just random accounts on Instagram. Olise goes for a strike, curling effort from that distance. Sign Gravenberch guy had a vision. Yeah, he did, didn't he, Zach? I think about that every single time. Every single time I hear his name, I think about Sign Gravenberch. That guy was relentless. Drew asked, doesn't Limer play right back most of the time? Typically, I think so, yes. Yeah, I guess when Stanisic is out there too, he'll play right back. He also played left, though. He played on the left last week up against PSG when he replaced Alphonso Davies. So he can play kind of anywhere. Also can play in the midfield. Very useful player. Bayern haven't really got their attack set up just yet. Safanov belts it down the pitch. Long ball from PSG. Stanisic, well done. Luis Diaz. Good ball. Ooh. Very, very close to Musiala unlocking Kane there. Important touch from William Pacho. He doesn't get that touch and Kane is through. Aris, by the way, great to see you again. For drama, we need this game to go to pens. Ole, ole. Kvaratskhelia. Oh, spins Limer and draws the foul. Mr. Sushi, tell us your parlay. Parlay. I'm such a betting idiot. Parlay is when you have like multiple bets. I'm very naive in this world. Tell us about it, though. I'd love to know. Safanov's such an interesting keeper because he's someone who, like, with what happened with Russia and Ukraine, obviously Russian players or people playing in Russia, you don't really hear about them. So for PSG to sign him, and then he was just sort of this unknown quantity to me, and then he starts playing more regularly this season after taking over from Chevalier, who was thought to be the chosen one, but ended up not being. This is great from Olise, and he wins a corner. Safanov and how well he's played has been very impressive. Very, very, very impressive. Especially after they lost Donnarumma. Ooh, that should have been a corner. That really should have been a corner. Hey, Benfica. My Benfica fella, you think we're going to lose Shelderup? Okay, so your parlay was 2 shots on target from Diaz and Doué, 2 tackles from Neves, Marquinhos, and Ta. Seems achievable, seems realistic. Bayern doing a little bit better here, pinning PSG back a little bit. That's a poor ball in from Kimmich, though. Oh, well done from Luis Diaz. Goes to the byline. Good cut back. Oh, what a block by Pacho. Or was that Nuno Mendes? It was Nuno Mendes, I believe. What a block on Olise. Yeah, they didn't lose Donnarumma. Sorry, forced him out. Sold him off to Man City. That is great work once again from Kvaratskhelia. Is there a left winger in better form than him right now? Vinicius Jr. is in pretty good form too, isn't he? But he kind of sometimes plays through the middle in Mbappe's stead. Wow. Kvaratskhelia. What a player. Show that block. Show that block from Nuno Mendes. Olise was down for a while. Uh-oh. We have Musiala down. Looks like he's holding something in either his groin or his hamstring. Kind of looks like his groin, potentially. His adductor, perhaps. I'm an expert on, I'm basically a physiotherapist at this point from the videos that I make. So if you have any questions about injuries or anything, just hit me up. I got you. Oh, it was neither. It's just him winded or something. He got an elbow in the chest. All in on a PSG versus Arsenal final. Hey, LL Cooler J could be getting a nice little payout here soon. Is it crazy to believe England are going to win the World Cup? No, not at all. That's not crazy at all. It is absolutely a plausibility. Oh, Olise overruns the ball. They're considered one of the favorites for a reason. And I think that it's actually merited in this tournament. This is the first tournament in a couple where there's been a lot of talk about England and how good they are, where I'm actually like agreeing and seeing like, yes, this team could win the World Cup. And it would not surprise me, especially with that sort of like preferred seeding that they're going to get alongside Argentina and Spain and France. Njongo, with all the injuries happening lately, what do you think the players' peaks will be? Do you mean like what their what do you mean by that? Do you mean like what age will be their prime, or will players start like retiring earlier? You're not wrong, LL Cooler J. Bit of a bottle gene. But I feel like they've been so close 2 Euros in a row that I think that this is going to be the time where they actually finally start to figure something out. Olise, I got to get him the ball to his feet. I think you're definitely going to have some cases where you're going to see careers cut short due to all of these consistent, or maybe not like full on retirements, but you're going to have a lot more players that sort of have the like the Neymar type cycle happening to them, especially with all these hamstring injuries. Like someone who I worry about, I don't know if you guys watched that video that I put out, someone who I worry about now is Lamine Yamal, only 18 years old, now getting this hamstring injury because depending on which grade his injury was, which seems like it was between a grade 1 and a grade 2, that is prime re-injury territory, which we saw happen to someone like Pedri. And all these guys who start picking up hamstring injuries like an Alphonso Davies, like a Militão, where it just keeps on recurring and recurring and recurring. So you could see sort of like these almost not true retirement, almost like a soft retirement where these players are like unavailable so often that their career isn't what it should have been. But I hope not, man. I really hope not, especially with, I mean, for all players, for the sake of all players, yes, but you don't want to see a talent like a Lamine Yamal or something have his career cut short because of being overplayed at such a young age. Oh, Kimmich, nearly. Any Germans or German knowers in the chat? I've heard it pronounced Kimmich. I've heard it pronounced Kimmich. Which is it? Is it Kimmich? Is it Kimmich? Oh, Kvaratskhelia in his office, cutting in from the left. That's a good block. That's an important block because otherwise Manuel Neuer could have been in trouble there. Olise, oh, he had the pass there. Kane just couldn't pick it out. Luis Diaz, Pavlovic, ball to the back post. Olise's there, cut out by Nuno Mendes. Olise back to Kimmich or Kimmich, whichever you prefer. Ooh, Diaz. Over the bar, high and wide. Bayern starting to pick it up now, though, aren't they? 21 minutes in. Starting to show their teeth. What a nightmare to play against Luis Diaz. Zaire Emery just stumbling all over the place, trying to keep up with him. Here we go. Kane, offside. Feels like Enrique has figured out how to deal with the wide LBRB with how close they are man to man. At least early in the match, at least. I mean, it certainly feels that. And again, if there's anyone I would trust to figure out how to beat Bayern Munich, it is Luis Enrique. For me, the best manager in the world at this time. I don't know that there's anyone better than him. Zaire Emery. Vitinha. Pacho. Ruiz. Men's blocked off the ball by Limer. Do you ever worry that you're not putting out enough content? If so, how do you manage that tension? Yeah, I do. I do. And it's difficult sort of balancing the longer form research heavy stuff versus the quick sort of reaction to new stuff. Because often, unfortunately, as much as I love doing the long form, more in-depth stuff, that's more my bag. YouTube's changed, and it seems like everyone just wants sort of those quick reactions to the news and as much content as possible versus sort of waiting for the longer form content, at least on my channel. I can only speak through my own experience. So I do definitely feel that pressure to get videos out there now and then, but I enjoy it. It's just I've been figuring out sort of editors and stuff like that to sort of help me so that I can get to have the best of both worlds. Mike, commiserations, my friend. I mean, it might not be over, you know? You get a goal before the half is up. Come on. We gotta believe. We gotta believe. But he's saying this match is over. It was such an obvious goal. Same problem as last week. Fullbacks caught on turnover. I don't care anymore. Just beat Arsenal. They certainly could. They certainly could defeat Arsenal. Luis Enrique, I think, again, could sort of decode Arsenal's back line, could decode their defensive strategy, and find a way to exploit it. He's the man I would trust to do so. Nuno Mendes down. No, he's not knocked out. It looked like it, though, the way he was just laying there. He didn't hit his head, thankfully. Zealand puts a video out immediately. Yeah, he's quick with it. He's good with it. Good old Zealandism. But yeah, there's definitely been sort of a shift I've noticed in the football YouTube when it comes to that. Or maybe it's been a shift in my audience. I don't know. Olise. Can he make something happen? Now would be the time. Olise, strike. Ooh. Just over. Safonov was beaten there. Wow. One of those is going to go in. You give him enough opportunities, one of them is going to go in. Like he showed against Real Madrid. He just had to recalibrate after he missed a couple. I always prefer the 1 hour plus videos. Yeah. I do enjoy those as well. I'll mix it up. I mean, if you like long videos, you just wait until my World Cup content comes out. Those group stage previews. Whew. Whew. 48 teams, fellas. 48 teams. Let's say I spend 2-3 minutes on each team. You'll get your hour, that's for sure. Handball? Handball, says referee. Wait, what? Oh, he's giving it. What? Oh, Adam, how are you? Thanks for joining me, man. Thanks for coming on back. What just happened here? Okay, handball by Nuno Mendes, and then he sends it the other way? What? What has this referee seen? Cheers from Portugal, says Di Lazera. Thanks for joining me, man. What was that? Limer getting way up the pitch, by the way. Just begging for a Kvaratskhelia run in the other direction. Luis Diaz. Pavlovic. Up against Zaire Emery. Smashes him to the ground. Stanisic now. Good feet. Oof. Safonov, strange. Ooh, that looked like a handball. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I mean, I saw that from Canada. That has to be, right? Please. Please. You can't do that. You can't do that. The referee saw João Neves and he said, hey, João. Is he not? Is he not going to go check it? What? Okay, unless there is a rule that I am unaware of where if your teammate clears it and it hits your hand, it's not a penalty. I don't know. I don't know. The Portuguese don't have hands today. You guys know where this referee's from? Anyone know where this referee's from? That's right. That's right. He's from Portugal. What a save from Manuel Neuer. That could have been and should have been 2-0. And the absolute killer is that it would have been João Neves, I believe, at the back post, which is the classic run he always makes. Ooh. What a save, Manuel Neuer. Maybe it will be called as unintentional handball, so it won't be given, but it feels... Yeah, look, I don't... There's so many different... There's so many different, like, it seems like in UEFA and in domestic leagues, handballs are called differently. It makes it very, very difficult to keep up. Very difficult to keep up. But that looked like the most obvious of handballs ever. Again, unless there is a rule that sounds vaguely familiar, but they changed the handball rule so many times that it's hard to keep up. Unless there is a rule where if you clear it and it goes off of your teammate's hand in your own box, then it's not a penalty. I don't know. Damn it, Adrian, I thought you had gone for Steven. I actually let him out. He was meowing to get out. That save is unbelievable, though, for Manuel Neuer. Holy. Now, corner kick for PSG. Back to Vitinha. Nunes. Goes for a right-footed strike. Oh, Manuel Neuer. Oh, Olise, what are you doing? Not a good showing from Olise. Well, he's had good moments, but he's also had some brain-numbing moments as well. Just need a Vitinha handball to have each of the big three Portuguese clubs represented. Yeah, man. Get the hat trick of Portuguese handballs out there. Yeah, I'm with you, Foxtrot. I think it should be a handball. I think that should have been a penalty for Bayern. I'm grasping at straws here, trying to see the other side, and I just can't. Ooh, Olise, that's a decent ball. Stanisic, Luis Diaz, surrounded. Ta, that's a difficult ball to give to Pavlovic. Yeah, I know my clock is a little behind. Oh no, Fabian Ruiz wide open on the far end. Kvaratskhelia, can he get it to him? No, he cannot. Oh, Kvaratskhelia nearly spins Ta, but it goes out for, I believe, a corner. Hello, Philomena. Howdy. Ooh. Headed away by Upamecano. Yeah, Foxtrot, who said it's crazy how interchangeable PSG's attack is. That's what makes them such a huge nightmare to defend against, because it is just all over the place. You know, like Kvaratskhelia could be on the left, he could pop up on the right. Ousmane Dembele is through the middle, but he could then swap with Doué. It's just so difficult to track them. Then you have the overlapping runs from Nuno Mendes and Hakimi. Really, really, really difficult. I think the commentator was saying that it's because it came straight from a teammate. That's why the handball wasn't given. So sort of exactly what I was thinking, or thinking might be the rule. But the optics of it are just crazy. To have a hand that far out to block a clearance. The optics are pretty brutal, especially if you're Bayern. Olise. After Limer won the ball there. Olise, again a misplaced pass. Musiala wins it back. Well done. Kimmich. Pavlovic is having a good game in midfield, I find. Andres, I think I would agree with you as far as the whole, whoever wins this will probably win the UCL. I think they're definitely the favorites coming from this side. Certainly it's been the more entertaining side, hasn't it? Arsenal are just doing what they got to do to get through, and that's totally fine. There's no rule that you have to play entertaining football. Upamecano wide to Diaz, isolated up against Marquinhos. Will he go byline or cut inside? He does neither. Luis Diaz and Olise not quite looking to be at their full powers just yet. Kane hasn't been on the ball that often either. You're more questioning their mental toughness, lack of experience. Yeah, fair enough, Andres. Sorry. It's certainly a fair thing to question. What if Arsenal win the UCL by one header? Are you planning on going to any World Cup games in Canada, says Daishima? I don't think so. I'm certainly not buying any tickets. It's unbelievable how much they are, accommodations, everything. Because I live in Montreal. That's a 6-hour drive from Toronto. Oh, Musiala. Great run from Musiala. Good ball as well, but cut off by Safanov there. So I live about a 6-hour drive from Toronto. Or you can fly. It's about an hour, but much more expensive. You can take the train. Expensive as well. Accommodations are not going to be cheap during the World Cup. Tickets are insanely expensive. I was saying on the stream yesterday that I know one person who has tickets to a game in Toronto. Oh, and Adam in the chat here has a ticket to a match in Toronto as well. But other than that, I know one person who has World Cup tickets. Limer. Ooh, that was a decent recovery run by Nuno Mendes there. Mike, thank you once again for the super chat. Very much appreciated. He says, I'm deleting social media if Arsenal win the EPL, UCL, and England the World Cup. It will be too annoying, not to mention the Anglo pundits and media generally. Yeah, it's that'll be tough for you, won't it? Surprised Montreal didn't get picked. Montreal decided to pull out. They thought it wasn't worth it. Pavlovic now. Kane. Olise stepping way out wide. Can they get the ball to him? Ruiz moves to press him right away. Oh, Musiala with space. Oh, he forces a good save out of Safanov. Very good save. Decent strike from Musiala. Low. Right before the half, that would have been a massive goal to get. Pavlovic. Musiala now. Ooh. Oof. Musiala is looking much better in this leg than the first. Just wide of that top corner. Further wide than I thought, actually. It bent the wrong way. Wish Saskatoon got picked. Kane. Ooh. Bayern looking much better. As Zach just said, probably plenty of goals in this yet. Crazy that one happened so quickly. How quickly that happened. But this second half is going to be fun with Bayern pushing for a goal. I mean, it should be, right? It should be fun. Bayern pushing for a goal, still the threat from PSG. Musiala going on hero mode, but he just doesn't quite have his finish. He's really trying to force it, though. Little Maple Man. Is it a sad day that Saskatoon didn't get picked as a host city? People of the world want to go to Winnipeg. That should have been one of the host cities. Okay, interesting insight here from Mike. Investigative reporter Mike has the info here. He says, I know multiple people who have ticks but work as doctors, private equity, Nepo babies, got lucky on crypto, etc. None watch regularly or have a club. Okay. Using that crypto money to get some World Cup tickets. That's what it's come to. I'm surprised that, FIFA doesn't allow you to pay with NFTs or crypto themselves. Surprised there isn't a FIFA coin. You know what? There might be a FIFA meme coin. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Gianni Infantino started one of those. Not at all. Upamecano. Ta. Stanisic. And there. Is that the half? No, still going. Kvaratskhelia gets a yellow card. Did they do that, Andres? They did a loot box gambling type thing to get a 1 in 4 chance to buy a ticket for a semifinal, to get a chance to buy a ticket for a semifinal. That's crazy. Or is that included in the 4K? Upamecano just wide. Still going in this 3 minutes of added time. Oh, it was Ta that headed that. Upamecano went up for it, but it came down to Ta, just wide. Opaque Nihilist, see ya in 20, man. See you soon. That is the half. It is now finished. We can stop the clock. Kane is getting the penalty decision explained to him. So, PSG leading 1-0 on the night, 6-4 on aggregate. We have seen the swing go from people fairly confident Bayern could do this. It was at about 63% that Bayern Munich would still end up going through. Now they're sitting at 54% in favor of PSG. So it swung all the way back around. I don't know if that's people who are just arriving late or people are changing their vote. Can you even change your vote? I don't know if you can. But yeah, it's this second half, I hope, lives up to the expectations of all the things that we are thinking right now. You know, I'm sure everyone's thinking the same thing as me. Okay, Bayern's got to chase this match. They're going to throw everything at PSG, which means there's also going to be room at the back for PSG to exploit, because those fullbacks of Bayern's, just as they have been all match long, are going to be pushing forward, leaving that space, leaving Ta and Upamecano completely exposed. Kvaratskhelia, Doué, Dembele, Nuno Mendes sometimes, although he's been staying back a lot to deal with Olise in this matchup. They all are going to have opportunities going in the other direction. So there could be more goals in either direction. I'm curious to really look up that handball rule, because that's what sort of the commentator alluded to as the ruling as to why it wasn't a penalty for Bayern when it was cleared by Hakimi straight into the arm of João Neves. It probably is because of that, but like I said earlier, the optics of it are just crazy. Very, very crazy. And then, of course, you had the handball by Nuno Mendes as well, as Olise was looking to sort of get past him. Handball rules are getting out of hand, says James Taylor. Pun intended. My stream has been really dodgy today. Can I get a quick recap, please? PSG started super, super fast. Kvaratskhelia getting in behind, way too much room. Great cutback that was met by Dembele, who he smashed it past Manuel Neuer. PSG have looked dangerous at times, but a lot of it in this second half has been Bayern looking, I wouldn't say that they've even troubled Safonov that much. There's definitely been a couple of occasions. Musiala forced a good save out of him. You had Tab putting a header just wide. But for the most part, it's been a little bit... Oh, you had Olise putting one just over the bar as well. One of those curling efforts where he cuts inside from the right. But I would say that given all of the expectations coming into this second leg, with, Vincent Kompany at the end of the last leg saying, he needs everyone out there for Bayern, supporting the team. They need as many people as possible getting out there, all dressed in red, pushing this team. He even said, if you're sick and you have a ticket, give up your ticket to an able-bodied person so that they can really help be that 12th man on the pitch for Bayern. And with all of that said, when it comes to Bayern's trio of Kane, Olise, and Luis Diaz, for much of this half, they have failed to deliver a little bit. You saw signs of them coming to life now and then. Olise once, but you also saw many misplaced passes from him, not looking like himself out there. Luis Diaz not having as much success with those one-on-ones as he usually does. In general, not looking as dangerous as usual. And then, of course, Kane kind of fading in and out of the match, kind of iced out a little bit. At the end, you did see Musiala step up for Bayern and look quite good. But other than that, I think that it's been a little bit underwhelming from the Bayern attack. And maybe they're just sort of feeling that pressure coming into this game. I don't know. But you have to also give a lot of credit to PSG, who have defended really, really well. You had Pacho making that great block on, was it? Oh, no, it was Nuno Mendes that made that block on Olise. That sort of last-ditch block when that ball got cut back to Olise right close to the edge of the 6-yard box, basically. They've defended extremely well. Nuno Mendes has shown great sort of restraint and not getting forward too often, staying back, ensuring that he's staying on Olise. Then you have Zaire Emery, where he's actually defended incredibly well, where the big sort of question coming into this was, how will he do up against Luis Diaz? How will he do in Hakimi's stead? How big of a loss is Hakimi going to be? And I think that it's fair to say that he's done incredibly well. And then the midfield of PSG doing great as well. Unk, pen or no pen? Look, this is what I can say. The handball rule changes all the time. I remember at one time there was talk about if a defender clears the ball and it goes off of his own teammate's hand in the box, then it's not a penalty. I remember that being something at some point, but it's changed so much that my brain is fried. And I don't know whether that is a rule that came out recently or many years ago. It's also changed back and forth with certain things in some cases. So I don't know. I don't know. I would assume that was the ruling because there is no way, and whether that's the correct sort of application of the rules, I don't know either, because there is no way that you can look at that video of Vitinha clearing the ball and it is so blatant, it is so obvious that it goes off of João Neves' hand, that this has to be something like it's either corruption, it's either incompetence, or it's that rule where it can't be a penalty when you clear it off of your own teammate's hand. I don't know. It's one of those three. My commentary said that's the case, says Brian. Yeah, that has to be it. That has to be it. Yeah, I hear you, William, but if it is the case where it isn't a penalty but when your own teammate clears the ball, because like I said, I do remember that being a law at some point, then it doesn't matter if his hand is at his side or if it's way out in the air, because that was the rule at one point. Is it still an active rule? I don't know. That's what a commentator seems to say. I'll have to look into it before I film for my video later. Portuguese referee and Portuguese player, says Sleepy Modric. Hey, you're not wrong. You're not wrong there. Adam is saying that apparently Limer had a handball before men's, so that's why it was a PSG free kick. I'll have to re-look at that. I didn't see it in the initial replay. I only saw the most obvious Nuno Mendes handball. I didn't see it, but it very well could be the case. So it could be there is a world where it's actually that this referee has gotten both calls correct. I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to run the tapes again. But yeah, the sort of like, not smoking gun, but the big deciding factor is if that is the case, where it is not a penalty when your own teammate clears the ball and it happens to hit your hand. Because that negates everything if that is the case. Did you see Valverde and Tchouaméni? Yeah, I did. I was saying at the beginning of the stream that I had absolutely incredible timing in that it's I published that video earlier about sort of all the other sort of toxicity that's happening at Real Madrid. Shortly after that story about Tchouaméni and Valverde comes out. Crazy. Just seen the Limer handball call. It looks off the chest. Yeah. Stadium is charged. Yes, it is, Andres. That's why it's going to be super, super fun in this second half. Super, super fun. I can't wait. How long does it take you on average to produce a video? It depends on the video. It depends on if it's sort of a long form deep dive, which requires a lot of research, etc., which can be multiple days, or if it's sort of like a kind of like a response and opinion and a recap of something that happened in the news. For example, the video I published today, then that's much faster. I ended up getting that one edited by Alex, who's a guy who I've worked with quite often, which was nice because I was able to just sort of take my notes and come up with my opinion, film, send it off to him, and then he had it ready for me the next morning. So it was super quick, super, super quick. I finished that in the evening, and I'm publishing it the next morning kind of thing. What's the story with Valverde? There was just another story of another, training ground bust-up, this time between Fede Valverde and Aurelien Tchouaméni, which apparently got more intense in the changing room after. So it's just yet another instance of bad vibes at Real Madrid right now. Thank you, Loopwise. Appreciate you, man. Perez will never change his mindset on his Galactical accession. All right. We are almost back. We are almost back for the second half. Should you feel robbed as a Bayern fan? I think that you have the right to feel incredibly frustrated with sort of how these calls have gone, because even with the Davies thing, the optics of it, letter of the law, that's not a penalty. Apparently in UEFA, letter of the law, that Davies instance was a penalty. Sorry. Let me say that again. Letter of the law, it was a penalty, even though I think most of the world thinks that should not be a penalty when the ball comes off of your body and then your hand, similar to the Ben White thing, right? So I think that most of the world can agree with that. So optically, that's a tough one to swallow. And then you have the instances today where there's sort of that technicality, kind of not a penalty technicality thing. So I think you have the right to feel very, very frustrated. I don't know if I'd go as far as robbed, but you have the right to feel incredibly frustrated on these sort of technicality penalties sometimes, or one time, I should say, with the Davies thing, and then another technicality for not being a penalty in the next instance for you. Not worth reading too much into these fight things at Real Madrid right now. We had a terrible season and plenty of media outlets will be running exaggerated and fake stories. Yeah, there's an aspect of that. There's an element of that. That comes with being one of, if not the biggest club in the world, right? Gregorio Gomez, I agree with you. I think that Olise has looked a little bit off in this one. He hasn't been at his absolute best. You still see, because, I mean, he's such an incredibly talented player, you still see these flashes where you think he's going to be doing something really impressive, and then he kind of fades away again. He has a misplaced pass. He misjudges the ball as it's bouncing, that kind of thing. But he's shown signs of threatening. He had that one instance where he cut inside and then curled it just over the bar. But yeah, I think overall your assessment is pretty bang on. He's looks, if not shaken, then just like a little bit off from his usual self. I don't know where Steven is right now, to be honest with you. He's elsewhere. Maybe later. If he comes to the door, I'll let him in for sure. No, that wasn't a cat. That was my son making that sound. He woke up a little while ago. Hey, fair enough, though. Sounds very similar. Sound very, very similar. All right. Players are coming back. Players are coming back. That's a good question. I don't know what the throw-in stats are, but I can certainly find them for you. Throws, 10-8 for Bayern. The exact same as yesterday at halftime, I believe. It was 10-7 or something like that. So not the exact same, but very, very similar. Bayern taking their sweet time to get out there. Let's go. Let's see the second half. Come on. Come on, come on. Currently watching the match in a high seas Portuguese broadcast. High seas Portuguese broadcast? What is that? Yeah, Mike, I was thinking that myself. Bayern's players don't look like they are... Oh, pirated. But Bayern's players do not look like they are very fired up. Like they are believing. Sailing the high seas, I got you. Hey. Hey. Here we go. PSG with their trademark booted out. Boot it straight out so we can press you immediately. Here's Olise up against Pacho. What is with this camera angle? So zoomed out. Ooh, that was a poor pass from Limer. 400,000 viewers of a piracy stream. That's crazy. Upamecano. Luis Diaz. Pavlovic. Ta. So apparently, Adam, yesterday, because Adam's saying, will they pull a Simeone and pull off all their attacking threat? Apparently, Alvarez did have an ankle injury. So that sort of explained the Alvarez substitution. Otherwise, that probably wouldn't have happened yesterday. But the threat was certainly gone, wasn't it? Ever think that the PSG technique of booting it out will work against them one day? I mean, I don't think so. I'm sure that Enrique would have sort of accounted for all possibilities from doing that. I can't really think of, what's the worst case scenario? Like you're giving your opponent a throw in their own end. Not a lot of danger that can come from that. Pacho with a little patch on his head. He's okay. Safanov. Boots it. Boots it for Doué, who's been quite quiet. Cynthia says, good evening all. Hope everyone is well and has dropped a like for Adrian's watch along. What she said. Always appreciated. Where's the final this year? It's in Budapest, I believe. Cynthia, I hope you're well. Hope the family is doing well. Pierre Emery, Musiala. Well done by Musiala, except Pavlovic could not find a teammate. Musiala, again, putting a tackle in. Musiala has probably been Bayern's best player of the last at least like 20 minutes of play, I would say. Other than that, I really do think that Pavlovic has had a pretty good game. Pavlovic has impressed me. Sounds about right, Cynthia. Yeah, it's been good. It's been good. Pacho is down again. Here we go. How many times will we see this? How many times will we see this? Pulling an Arsenal. Hey, it's called game management, you know? Managing this game well. Taking seconds off the clock. Baking Village, how are you? Only thing is a quick appearance of your cat. Is he nearby? He is. We could get him in here. Let me see if I can get him. Let me see if I can get him in here. Here he is. There he is. Anything to say? Still looks good for an old guy, eh? Oh, Kane. Block shot. Yeah, Steven's like 14, 15 years old. I'm not sure. He's looking good. Due. Oof. Not a great ball. Liam. Yeah, dude, you and me both. You should see what I pull out. Good defending again by Marquinhos, who's just, as soon as I said he wasn't looking as good this season as last season, he just started playing incredibly well, which is always what happens. Like I remember some iconic moments. I think it was the 2018 World Cup. I was doing a watch along, and I started speaking down on Nani, and he ended up scoring. Or was it Quaresma? It was one of them. Marquinhos giving up a foul. Bayern haven't been all smothering as perhaps we thought they would be in this half. What's the Chevalier versus Safanov drama? They dropped on Aruma and gave confidence to Chevalier. That's a good question. I heard there was some drama between Zubarny and Safanov, and Zubarny not wanting to play when Safanov is on the pitch. I don't know how true that is, or if that sort of has been dispelled. Ooh, Pavlovic, terrible strike. I don't know if that's just a rumor that's been dispelled, if it was more of a media thing. But I know that was something that people were talking about for a while. LL Cooler J. You're saying about Luis Diaz who got a hat trick against Leverkusen for Liverpool? But no, I'm kidding. He certainly has exploded for Bayern, at least when it comes to the finishing and everything like that. Oh, lots of room for Due here. Up against Stanisic. Ooh, not the cleanest. Still gets a shot off. Saved by Neuer. Very nice from Bayern. Very well cut out by Pacho on Konrad Leimer. Now, a ball over to Olise. That's how they've been searching out Olise every single time. It's just these long looping balls that Nuno Mendes can sort of get under and head away. Not making it easy. Oh. Olise. Good ball to Kane. Ooh, well marshaled by Pacho and well taken by Safanov there. How long is Hakimi out for? That's a good question. That's a really good question. I don't know. Monitored week to week. That's what I'm seeing. Really well defended by PSG. They have really improved their defending as this competition has gone on. Funny saying that when they conceded 4 goals in the last leg, but you know how it is. Adam, I think that there are talks that Neuer will sign on for another year. I believe that they're thinking of doing a 1-year extension. There's certainly talks going on. Yet to be confirmed, though. Olise finally getting on the ball, able to run with the ball. Everything opening up for him. And he fumbles. Nuno Mendes going in the other direction. He can't get it through to Dembele. Is it going to open up like this now? Wide to Diaz. One-on-one with Zaire Emery. Diaz goes to the byline, cuts it inside for Musiala, and it is away by Marquinhos. Hey. Olise. Pavlovic. Oof. Straight into the referee. 12th man at it again, says Drew. Was that a handball by the referee this time, just to rub it in their face? Musiala up against João Neves. He beats him. Oof. Good recovery by João Neves. Yeah, Zach, that was him. Got to say that PSG has done a really good job to sort of neutralizing Bayern in this game. Really got to give it up to them. And how they are playing a little bit more conservative. You know, they still have that threat on the counter, of course, but they're showing that they can sit back if need be, which was something that they sort of did last season. I don't know if it was by design, but they were sort of forced to sit back against Arsenal and really against Aston Villa as well, you'll remember. And they were able to sort of soak up that pressure. Of course, Donnarumma was a big reason why they could do that. The saves that he ended up making. But this is more just their defending in general seems to be a lot better in this leg. Bayern really having difficulties. Not a great strike there by Stanisic. Bayern really having difficulties breaking down this PSG side. Yes, Mr. Keita, I think you might be right. I'm starting to believe that you may be right, that PSG is going to go through. You know, I was holding out a little bit in that you cannot count out Bayern, and you still can't. There's still half an hour left. Half an hour is a long, long time, but the control that PSG has over this match in this moment, it's difficult to look past them. Really difficult to look past them. Spare Baller says, hey, Adrian, nice to have you back. As far as live streams go, it's good to be back. Thank you, man. Thank you for joining me. By the way, I'm curious. I don't get an opportunity to speak directly to you guys and ask you guys direct questions. Do you get notifications for my videos? Do my videos show up on your homepage in YouTube? Because there are so many people that would be like, oh, it's good to see that you're uploading videos again. And it's like, what do you mean? I've been uploading videos for a long time. So many people keep saying that. But I guess some people have notifications on, others don't, that kind of thing. And honestly, I find, like, even my own algorithm, ooh, that's a good tackle by Stanisic. Stanisic has had a pretty good game compared to the last time. I find with my own algorithm, if I miss one upload from a creator, they just like vanish from my feed. It's crazy. Phil, how are you, man? How are things down the river? Hope you're doing well. Doué is looking very dangerous again. Doué, good strike, forces another save out of Manuel Neuer. Desiree Doué. You know how I said earlier how he'd been a little bit quiet in this game. He certainly has not been this half. But I guess this is sort of what suits him, right? Being able to play in transition, only having, a couple of defenders back there to contend with. Alphonso Davies is coming on. Bradley Barcola is coming on. It looks like Ousmane Dembele is going off. He's sort of firing up his teammates as his final parting gift. Adam, that could be it. That could be it. Yeah, that makes sense. Spare Baller, yes, I will have daily coverage of the World Cup. In fact, I'm going to have World Cup content starting like maybe 2 weeks or so. I'll start having, I have a couple of pre-World Cup series coming out on sort of the contenders and other different teams that are sort of the curiosities, if you want to call them that, of the tournament. I'll also have group previews, every single group. I'll have predictions. And then once we get into the World Cup, daily videos, daily recaps of the World Cup, as well as watch-alongs. Not daily watch-alongs, but plenty of watch-alongs for you guys to join in on. Oh, great ball through to Nuno Mendes in behind. Upamecano, that's a great recovery from Upamecano, however. Yeah, spare baller, you might be right. So I'm doing a test right now where I'm just like uploading more often. Luis Diaz. Diaz. What is he doing? Wide to Limer. Bex said you're his favorite YouTube. Who's Bex? Apologies, I'm not familiar with a BEX. Davies coming on for Stanisic. Kim Min-jae is also coming on. So a couple of defensive changes, though, of course, Alphonso Davies can contribute in the attack. Jonathan Tah is coming off. Oh, I see. Bex, shout out Bex. Appreciate that, the kindness there. Upamecano now. Just 23 minutes here. 2 goals needed from Bayern. I feel like they'll get one more goal, and that's it. Luis Diaz cuts back. Well defended again by Marquinhos. Marquinhos has been great at that. Whenever Luis Diaz does get away from Zaire Emery, Marquinhos is there to clean it up. Ooh, Davies with a good ball to Luis Diaz. Forces a save. Bex is okay. I'm going to check out Bex. Let's go, Bex. I'll hit subscribe. Daily football news. Let's go. Olise. Good save there by Safonov. You want Fonzie? Yes, Calcio Showcase. Thanks for coming through. So far, it has been if you're comparing it to the previous leg, it has been a little bit of a disappointment. But nothing was ever going to live up to that first leg, that's for sure. But still, there's been moments. There's been moments in this game. I think that the overall feeling is that it's been a little bit underwhelming from Bayern's point of view, considering all of the talk about making it an absolute cauldron with the 75,000 people all wearing red, blah, 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 blah. The ghost of Leroy Sané's finishing is in the air tonight. Oh, Desiree Doué, that is nasty. Stop that. Ooh, hoo, 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 hoo. Kane. Diaz couldn't get a hold of it. Think PSG first goal made it difficult to recreate that game. Yeah, you're right. Conceding a goal 3 minutes in certainly does change things. Suddenly, Bayern has to be a little bit more apprehensive going forward because now they have a 2-goal deficit to clean up. Upamecano. Olise. A quiet half for Olise. Another misplaced pass by Olise. This could be bad. Kvaratskhelia gets around Olise. Doué. Ooh. That could have been a damning moment for Olise in this game with that giveaway leading to Doué hitting the side netting. Huge, huge half from Desiree Doué. It's been fantastic. Fonzie down the left. It's a shame how injuries have sort of changed the trajectory of his career. Why is Twitter on Arsenal's case for celebrating getting to the final like other teams haven't celebrated reaching the final? Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Like, I get it. Like any other fan base, Arsenal has some annoying fans for sure. But the absolute like hate boner for Arsenal is getting kind of crazy. It's like sometimes it's like, okay, come on, guys. They made a Champions League final. Let them celebrate, please. And I guess people also don't find them entertaining enough. But like I was saying earlier, there's no rule that you have to be entertaining, right? They've played entertaining in the past. They were one of the most entertaining teams in the past. Up there with Barcelona during the Wenger days at one time, you know? Didn't get them much. So they're taking a different approach now. Olise goes to the byline. Ooh, cut out. I'm talking about the time after. I'm talking about when Barcelona was at their peak around like 2010-ish, whatever. Arsenal, you know, they won the league back in the Invincibles time. And then after that, no leagues. They would win the FA Cup now and then. But when it comes to what they really wanted, winning the Champions League and winning the league, nada. That's what I'm talking about. Of course, after that Invincible season. Ooh, Parcola. Mike, thank you once again for the super chat. He says, no, the world doesn't hate Arsenal enough. Yeah, the world would be... Just imagine how people would react if Arsenal win the Premier League and the Champions League. Hoo, hoo, hoo. The Unforgettables? No, that's not what they're calling themselves, are they? They're not saying we'll be the Unforgettables if we win a double. Doué. Kvaratskhelia. Good block there by Upamecano. Still only just to Doué. Doué cutting inside. Doué on his left. That was close. Close enough to send that water bottle flying. Hey, Libon. How are you, man? Ugh, the Unforgettables. I hate that. That's not a good... That doesn't have a good ring to it. Lucas Beraldo coming on. Hernandez coming on. Beraldo probably going to be played in the midfield. We've seen Luis Enrique do that a couple of times. Of course, he's naturally a center back, but he's done pretty well for PSG in the midfield in some of their league matches. Thank you, Calcio Showcase. This is the Stade Brestois 75th anniversary kit. It's a beauty, man. It's a beauty. Oh, you deleted your comment. You take that back. Wow. Okay. Well, I think it's a beautiful kit. Upa, Kim, Musiala. Musiala and Kane getting their wires crossed there. Davies, good touch. Davies has looked pretty sharp since coming on. It's all good, Calcio. I was just joking anyways. Davies. Ooh, good turn by Luis Diaz. Olis, ooh, was that a foul there? Referee says no. Or handball and a yellow to Luis Diaz. Really? Uh-oh, this does not help what Bayern fans will be thinking about this referee. Ooh. I guess it's because of something he said to the ref. The little flick. Oh no, the handball. Yes, I see. He pulled the ball back because he thought that should have been a foul. I mean, did kind of look like a foul. All right, Nicholas Jackson time. Here we go. It's Jackson time, guys. And here's Kvaratskhelia in behind to make it 2. How did he not get a shot off there? Just absolutely bouncing around. Just could not get it out of his feet. Oh, he scuffed it. Yeah, exactly. Pinheiro hated in Portugal, now hated in Germany too. Yep. Corner kick. Ooh, came to Beraldo at the edge of the box. Back to Vitinha. Why is he hated in Portugal? He just sucks, honestly. Mind you, I mean, there's not many referees that people love. Personally, I am a Clément Turpin ultra. I think he's a good referee. I am independent AL. Vitinha getting pelted by cups. 80th minute. PSG doing a fantastic job at sort of managing this game. Good ball in from Vitinha. Away. Olise. Can Bayern get something going on this counterattack? Olise again losing possession, but this time he at least won a foul. Yeah, exactly, Adam. That guy. He looks like Trossard. The guy who looks like Trossard. I think he's a good referee. Davies to Jackson. Nico Jackson to Davies. Davies goes outside. Barcola fouls him. Free kick Bayern outside the box. Here we go. What can they pull out from this free kick? Kimmich is on it. Is he going to go for goal or is he going to just dink it into that post? To that back post. And he does. He dinks it. But the referee saw something here. Not the worst ball from Kimmich, but punched away by Safonov. Now Olise. Oh, Luis Diaz spinning. Still controlling. Kimmich. Davies. Ooh, that's poor from Upamecano. The giveaway to Nuno Mendes. She goes for the strike. Tried to catch Neuer off his guard. Hoo. Just wide. Al, has it changed his coverage at all? Has it changed his content at all, or is it all the same? Or AL, sorry. AL Phil. Upamecano is back. That's right. Shout out you for remembering that. Good old Upamecano. Leonard Carl, I should say. Looks like he's coming on. Just throwing everything at it, you know? Enjoying this boring match, says Mr. Potato. I don't know if it's boring. A lack of goals, yes. But stuff has been happening. Oh, well done from Kane. Good recovery. Marquinhos bundles into him. And the referee calls it against Bayern again. This man is going to need a armored guard to get to the airport. That's wild. It looked like Kane was fouled first, and then he punished him for sort of getting in the way or whatever that was. Upamecano coming off for Leonard Carl. Mayulu's coming on for, let's see, Kvaratskhelia, perhaps. Oh, for Nuno Mendes, actually. Seni Mayulu. How did that change their shape? Beraldo dropped back into the back line? Yeah, Adam. Portuguese don't have much success at doing that, do they? Is that a foul, referee? That should be a yellow too? He did call it that time. He did get it that time. I guess there's certain ones that he can't not punish, you know? Hey, Kanishka. Thanks for subscribing. Appreciate you. Davies going for a run down this left flank. Ooh, that's not good control. Ooh, not good from Davies. It's poor. Drew, I wouldn't be surprised if he has lost a little bit of it because he had that ACL injury and then a couple of hamstring injuries. And hamstring injuries, of course, like I was saying, guys, I'm a physiotherapist here. Hamstring injuries are usually due to acceleration and sprinting and deceleration. So he probably has lost a little bit of it. If he's not, if it's not like an actual loss of pace, it could be a little bit of apprehension. Luis Diaz. Good squared ball. Carl, blocked. Limer, blocked. They're calling for handball. Referee is saying no. But it was only Limer that was calling for it that time. Kvaratskhelia. Barcola. Too much space. Too much space. Forces a good save out of Manuel Neuer. I cannot believe the amount of space that the PSG wingers have been given to sort of cut inside like that. Everyone knew what Barcola was going to do there. That was a great block by Lucas Hernandez, by the way. Mayulu just getting a rain of plastic cups all around him, poor guy. Mayulu, Vitinha. Barcola again. Barcola. Poor control. Poor control. He does tend to have those gaffes in him in the 18-yard box. Whether it's a scuffed shot or a poor bit of control in the box, everything leading up to it is great. But you do see that often from Barcola, I find. Jackson. Is it Jackson time? Nicholas Jackson. What's he doing? Ball to the back post. Cannot be reached. '89th minute. It is ending soon, folks. They are almost there. PSG are almost back in the Champions League final. Saw your doppelganger in the stand. There's a lot of people who look like me. There's a lot of people who look like me. That's for sure. I'm a very common looking guy. Thanks for stopping by, though. Davies. Luis Diaz. Pavlovic. That's blocked by Kvaratskhelia. Kvaratskhelia getting a slide tackle in. And with every tackle, you see the PSG bench getting up on their feet and celebrating. That is the Luis Enrique effect, isn't it? This enthusiasm to defend as a team. It's huge. It's huge. He tried to drill that into Mbappe's head. You've all seen that video, right? Oh, Luis Diaz beats Zaire Emery, and then another tackle by Marquinhos. Wow. Jackson went for the little flick. Collected by Safanov. But Marquinhos, again, great performance. Great performance from him. Is this the team of the 2020s? That's a good question. I mean, if they end up winning that Champions League, defending it, you can definitely make that argument. They won everything last season except for the Club World Cup, you know, the biggest of them all. But Luis Enrique, I think, even if they don't win the Champions League, has, in my eyes, cemented himself as the best coach in the world right now. There is no manager other than Luis Enrique that I think that a team should do their best to, throw it all on the line for. Leonard Carl, that's a good tackle by Hernandez. Luis Diaz has Kvaratskhelia and Zaire Emery on him. Zaire Emery, you got to give him a shout as well for how he's played in this match. The entire PSG bench getting up again to celebrate every foul won, every tackle made. About Jorge Jesus. Yeah, I mean, you gotta... PSG should absolutely get rid of this bum Luis Enrique and hire Jorge Jesus. For sure. Safonov loves that sideline. Yeah, he's been pinging it to that sideline all game long. Olise, again, nearly loses it. Alphonso Davies, inside to Kane. Kane, goal. They have about a minute. What did I say? I said that Bayern would get one, but they wouldn't get two. So there it is. Great strike from Harry Kane. 1-1. If only that came 5 minutes earlier, you know? That would have made things really, really nice. Really, really fun here. What a finish by Harry Kane. Just arrowed to that top corner. No chance for Safonov. Dembele's reactions are so funny. So about a minute here. PSG do not kick it out. Although Safonov, he certainly does. Safonov finds that other side of the field. Kicks it into the stands again. So maybe about a minute added here. One last attempt. There's no way, right? There's no way, right? Kimmich. Olise fails to control the ball. Then he falls on his ass. Throw in for PSG. It has not been a memorable night for Olise. One of those nights where just everything is going against him. Marquinhos with some savvy, mature, savvy management of this game going down. Oh, my leg. I got a cramp. Oh. Exactly, Liam. It's game management. Time wasting? No. It's managing the time. Certainly this adds more time to the game, though. Here we go. Throw in PSG. Where do they go with it? As far as possible. Bayern win the first header. Olise Back to Pavlovic. Bayern, this is looking good. Kane. Ooh, good block by Pacho. How much more time is left? The referee blows his whistle. PSG are in the final. The game is over. Wow. A yellow card for, who was that? Kimmich. PSG, man. They've done it again. What a team. You know, at the beginning of the Champions League, similar to last season, they did not look like they would be able to pull this off again. Let me just stop this timer. Stop the clock. Stop the clock. It's over. They didn't really look like they would be able to pull this off once again, in my opinion. They were not looking that strong. But then you look at what they went through last season, where they were the only team in Europe that played every single game possible. They played the entire season in Liga. They played the entire cup competition, won that. So they played every game in France. Then they played every game in the Champions League, won that. Then they went to the Club World Cup and went all the way to the final. Lost that one. Unfortunately, like I said, they lost the biggest trophy of them all, the Infantino Special. Unfortunate. Very unfortunate for them. So, you can understand why they would be a little bit tired, a little bit jaded after that. It's hard to follow up an all-conquering season and get yourself up for everything once again. But slowly but surely, Luis Enrique was able to get them up for it, wasn't he? And look at them. Now they're looking like the PSG of last season that everyone was going crazy for. The team that is just absolutely, as Liam said, formidable. Absolutely formidable. They took this Bayern side that was for so much of this season the best team in Europe, and they were able to beat them 6-5 because of that late goal. 6-5 on aggregate, smacking them. Wow. I mean, I guess you can't really say smacking them when you win by 1 goal, but putting 6 past Bayern is pretty impressive. Very, very, very impressive. Club World Cup has a nice ring to it, says Keita. Yeah, maybe it will become prestigious over time. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe it will. But in this moment, not so much. Bradley says the referee was incredible today. Certainly, yeah. Like I said, he's going to need an armored car escort to get to the airport because I'm sure a lot of Bayern supporters are not very happy with his performance. But in the end, can you say that PSG didn't deserve to go through? I don't think so. I think they're very deserving of going through, in my opinion. I think that the referee had some questionable moments, but as we looked at halftime, it seems like both of the handball calls were correct. I'm going to have to review the footage on the Leimer and Nuno Mendes one. I didn't actually see that one, but it seems like from what I heard in the commentary here and what someone else in the chat heard in the commentary said that it seems like that was the right call when it comes to the João Neves and Vitinha thing because it was a teammate hitting the ball, etc., etc., etc. But hey, definitely can feel bad. You know, it just shows sort of the margins in this game and the slight differences between these two teams, or the very, very narrow margins and the slight sort of advantages and disadvantages, the margins in this game. The Davies handball, it's so close between these two. So close, as the scoreline suggests. What are the handball rules? Actually, who knows, man? I need them to have a full-on podcast and just go through every single situation. UEFA needs to put on a podcast, explain the handball rule so that everyone knows. Give an in-depth presentation on it. That would be great. There were so many random calls going for PSG. Yeah, there were a few for sure. Like that one in that second half with Kane going down and then getting the foul called against him. There were a few for sure. I think that there's a reason that Bayern can feel hard done by. But I also have to give a lot of credit to how PSG defended. I got to give a lot of credit for how they defended. Marquinhos was excellent. Zaire Emery did very, very well up against Luis Diaz. Nuno Mendes was great. Olise had a terrible game. Is that down to defending? Partially. Also, Olise just looked shaken. That's it. But guys, I got to get going here because I need to get recording of the Champions League recap video. But I do thank everyone who has shown up for this stream. This has been very fun. We'll continue to do these, you know? We'll continue to do these for the, well, I guess there's not much else to do besides the Champions League final. But going into the World Cup, yeah, it's going to be plenty of content for you guys in the World Cup. Lots of watch-alongs and plenty of daily recaps and all the like. So thank you so much for joining me, guys. Very much appreciated. I'll see you tomorrow for the UCL this week. We'll stew, we'll simmer, we'll collect our thoughts on this game some more, all right? Take care, guys.